everybody, how we doing? It's me, Joe Sayers, back here for the Music Factory Studios. I'm sorry if my voiceover sounds like I have some reverb in the room or something. The only way I can do these iPad voiceovers, especially using this app AUM, is to run my mic through one of the channels. So you may be hearing what I'm hearing out of the speakers through my microphone, kind of like feedback, except without the annoying high-pitched sound. But I've got something really cool for you. There's some free apps in the App Store that you may have heard of if you're a guitar player. Nembrini Audio, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has put out a set of really awesome plugins for free and some that are paid. I just grabbed the free ones because they were free and I wanted to try them out. There's a noise gate, a delay, a high and low pass filter, a chorus, and a Sans Amp type of plugin called the Crunck V2. And let's just say this thing is pretty cool. Now, it's more meant for high gain, I think. I don't think you're going to be getting like pristine, clean sounds out of it, but you will get some really usable sounds, and that's the most important thing. But like any guitar emulation, you need a compressor before you hit it. And I always use this. Once I've started using compressors before guitar emulations, I started learning how well that amp emulations work. Their failure is compression on the way in. That's the one thing we like about real amps, especially when playing high gain amps, is the compression that the amp makes itself. What happens is there is a load of compression going in that you can feel, and it makes it a lot easier to play the notes. But with emulation, they're emulating the amp in the best scenario ever. And that compression, for some reason, that's normally there with a real amp isn't in the simulation. So what I do to combat that is I hit it really hard with a compressor. Here's the compressor off. And basically all I'm doing is emulating the way it hits the electronics on the way in. You say, well, that's really snappy and kind of terrible sounding. Doesn't matter. The amp afterwards gets rid of all the blah. But that's kind of what a real amp would sound like if you got rid of the amp side of it and only had the in and the output. So let me take my compressor out. So as you can hear, and then I'll add it back in. It does give it a little bit of a flavor, and it helps for note sustain, things of that nature, things that, you know, you're used to with a real amp, especially if you're turning up the gain. Even on the clean channel, you're causing, you know, compression to happen. But I see a lot of guys who are like, I would use an amp sim, but they just don't feel the same. No kidding. Put a compressor in front of it. Most of the time when they put a compressor in front of it, they go, now it feels a lot different. That's because you're now emulating the actual compression that goes on. So let's go ahead and talk about the Crunck V2. And you say, well, I thought that was supposed to be a high gain amp. Well, it is. I've got the gain turned down. But first, I want to show you the other plugins real quick, okay? I have the delay, as you can hear. Each one of the plugins has this analog on and off. And what it does, it gives it a little bit of low end and gives it a little push. It's not super saturation or anything. It kind of makes me think of what a really nice, you know, transformer would do or something along those lines. It probably won't even come through on a YouTube video, but it works really well, and it gives certain plugins a little bit of how should we say it? A little bit of pizzazz or something. The one I really noticed it the most in, though, was the filter plugin. But let's go ahead and just check out some of these. As you heard the delay. It's a really nice plugin. The offset makes it really, really have nice characteristics. Now I'll turn the offset down. So let's hit a note. And we'll add some offset. This changes one side's delay time by just a few milliseconds, enough to give it a more stereo feel compared to. And back again, which is really nice. Now, there's the chorus, and this chorus is interesting. It sounds good. So a very, very, very nice plugin. Now let's go in here and have some fun with this and do something drastic. You can also turn off the cabinet if you want to turn it off and use your own, cabinet. Even you could come out of this into a power amp, into a cabinet, and use it as a Sans amp or something, or use your own hours. But it has its own. It's a single 4x12 with V30s. It's supposed to emulate, and it's pretty good. Now let's set it up here and put some gain in here and see what happens. Now the other plugin I'm using here is the gate, and the gate works like it's supposed to. Okay. Let me mute my microphone because this will definitely be picked up. as you can hear, it does sound good, even though I knocked my guitar a little bit out of tune there. But it does sound good. It's free, and you can grab it in the App Store. And the company is Nembrini Audio. I want to say that's either Italian or French, but I could be completely and utterly wrong about that. And if I am, I apologize. But go grab it. There's some other plugins I'm going to grab too, and they're paid for. They're very, very inexpensive. Like I want to say they're like $5 a piece, $6, $7, something like that. They're less than $10 from what I remember. And they're all great. You get a gate, you get a chorus, you get this Sans amp, you get a delay, and you get a high and low pass filter that all of them sound good and use very little DSP. I am on an iPad, the last generation regular iPad. So the A10 CPU iPad from last year, from 2018, 2019, whatever the last one was. It's the 9.7 regular old $250 iPad. And using an amp sim and a chorus, a delay, the core compressor, and the gate, and running my microphone through here, I'm only using 30% of the DSP, and I'm running at 48K. So it's a little bit higher in sample rate because that's video sample rate. I don't know. But it all sounds good. It works good. Go check out Nembrini Audio, and thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this from the Music Factory, comment below and let me know what you'd like to see, and subscribe. Hit the little bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a great day, y'all.